Hi Lakshay, good
Hey, hi,
evening.
Gandhi. How are you? Good evening.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Thanks for asking.
Good. So, thank you so much for joining us today. We are so glad to have you here as our guest speaker. Uh,
Okay.
I've been reading about you and I saw that you have offices in Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, and you're soon entering Hyderabad as well. So, currently, which city are you sitting in and where have you joined the?
Uh, First of all, are we loud and clear about the voice,
Yeah,
guys?
your, your voice is absolutely perfect. I can hear you properly.
Great, great. So 2 days back, we were in Mumbai. We were shooting for some clients, 2 3 project. Today, I am in Bangalore, and after a week, we will be in Chennai shooting other projects. So definitely, right now, I'm in Bangalore.
That's great. So Bangalore weather is always amazing. Like it's out
Definitely.
the other cities' weather.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Bangalore is weather is like a very, really nice if you compare to the other cities.
Exactly. So Lakshay, before you joined us, I already gave your introduction about your experience, the brands you've worked with, and I think we'll jump off to the topic right now. So today, let me introduce the topic again. So we'll be talking about architectural photography secrets revealed with Lakshay Arora. And so, Lakshay, you have an experience of 10 plus years. What actually inspired you to pursue a career in architectural photography?
That takes me back, I think, long back of 2009, 12 story. I need to memorize that. So whole idea of shooting images of photography, you say images, you say start with a small camera at home, shooting product, minor details of the bottles. I play a lot of with the lights. I don't know about the shutter and everything. I used to play with that time. Then slowly, it converted into a camera, a compact camera. I borrowed it from my uncle. Then in
Mm-hmm.
that direction, I pursued my education and I've learned more about product photography, how the lighting works, how the commercial photography works. I have learned it from Shari Academy. So they have given me a best of it in a 2 years of program. And in that category, I just find myself that I'm more happy and alive and collaborative in shooting a group of images, a combination of images. I like to style, I like to play around with the lights. So when it comes to the group of images, this is a word comes a group of images. And when you see the interior photography or any kind of this category, you see 100 of product or things are placed in a room or a
Yeah,
living room or a master bedroom. So that's my area where I shoot. I do this everything at one time, and I love doing that. And that really excites me to continue doing this.
definitely, definitely. So a lot of styling needs to be done before you start off with the
I
photography.
think
A lot of,
there's a lots of homework needs to be done
yeah,
before that.
exactly. Okay, so this is for the audience. So if you have any questions related to architectural photography, please feel free to ask from Lakshay. You can drop in your comments and we'll go through all the questions during the end of the session. And also, this session is divided into three segments. So one segment is the client segment. So people who are into real estate or hospitality industry and how they can actually leverage professional photography. So this is for the first segment is for the client segment. Second segment will be for the professionals like interior designers and architects, how they can use the expertise of a photographer for their projects. And the third segment will be for the newbies, for the beginners who want to master this field. So let's start off with our first session, the first segment. So, Lakshay, as per the statistics, top quality images actually can speed up the sale of any project by whooping 32% as compared to the low quality images. So, like, what are your views on how real estate clients can leverage professional photography to stand out and potential buyers for their projects, for the sale of their projects?
Okay. Okay, I understand. Let me memorize everything and what you have said. You're asking about the leverages of photography, and you're talking about
Yeah.
the percentage and the statics. The more professional, the more the grow, right?
Yeah, I mean, the more professional a photograph is, the more easier it is for the clients to attract buyers. So how they can actually leverage this professional architectural photography to stand out from the crowd and get more buyers?
I think you use the word stand out, more buyer, potential buyer, professional For that, you need someone professional to do that. I think we need to ask ourselves, as a designer, as a photographer, as a content creator, or you as a marketing team, we need to ask yourself, what is our target audience? Are we targeting a right person? What exactly is the goal by the end of the year? If everything is clear, line by step, then definitely we will have someone on board or a freelancer to do this kind of a part. And we need a professional for every industry. Like we need a photographer for photography, we need from social media, we need a content for every person. We in every industry we need someone professional. So there is no question on that. You do it from your own, and you just ignore those parts. And what leverage you can take, definitely you need to have a professional. When the professional he comes with a lot of experience he puts for your project. And when a professional comes in onto your side, he will give you a lot of knowledge. We exchange a lot of energy about the design, the photography part, and everything you see. And if you talk about, let's talk about the comparison. There is a image clicked by someone, an image clicked by the professional photographer, and if you compare it, you can clearly say which camera you use. It's the first question you ask, which camera you use. It's not about the camera, it's about the art you have learned, and how the person is using that resources. And in that resources should be used by the designers, architects, to retain that and have a outstanding images from that particular person.
Definitely. So since you talked about the art of photography, so there's a thing called that a lot of people have this misconception in them. I don't know. You need to clear it out whether it's a misconception or not. A lot of people think that they do not require a proper camera, or they do not require a professional photographer to capture some rooms or capture their homes. They can simply do it with an iPhone. So do you think an iPhone can actually replace a professionally captured shot? An iPhone shot can do that?
So answer to this question is, I have used a small 2 megapixel camera. I started photography with that. Then I converted into a digital small camera, then converted into a small medium entrance camera, then converted to professional camera. Then step by step, I have seen the difference, how the photography works. iPhone, yes, definitely give you a good picture. Right now, I'm talking to iPhone, and you can see a clear picture and a clear voice, and everything is clear. Everything is perfect, and you spend a lot of money on iPhone. But when it
Exactly.
comes to end goal of that image, what is the end goal? Do you want to have a snapshot just to have a view, or you want to have a professionally touched, or a high resolution file? You can edit it, crop it, and everything you can play around with. So if I see the difference, let's not talk about what is replacement. Let's talk about the differences between the iPhone and click by the professional thing. The iPhone can give you a good bright picture. iPhone can give you a good quick snapshot, easy to handle. And when it comes to the this professional camera, this will give you a good megapixel. You can crop it out, you can edit it around, you can play with the marketing part, you can use it for your lifetime. There's a lot of difference you see between the iPhone and a professional camera. Definitely both the product, both the equipment click same image, but the quality is different.
Yeah, exactly. Understood. So, so for example, now hypothetically, I am a homeowner and I decide to hire a professional photographer because I want to sell my house in future. Now, what advice would you give to me? How should I prepare my house before you actually jump in and do the task for me? How to prepare my home for a professional photo shoot?
I think uh, when hiring a photo, you asking about the can you repeat your question again?
And any tips that you can give to me that how I can prepare my home for a professional photo shoot, maybe decluttering the room, or maybe anything, any tips that you can give it to me.
I think before you start shooting a place, uh,
Hmm.
hiring a photographer is the biggest thing. You do it, and when you start hiring it, you have tons of options in the market, especially in tier 1 and tier 2 cities. So that's the designer and architect become very confused at that time, whom to hire, which person is correct for me, and what exactly is my current budget. Let's
Hmm.
say if my budget is somewhere around XYZ, and this is my assumption. This is not a market current scenario.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of confusion. First of all, comes with a lot in a plate. We get 10 photographer profile, but we don't know how to utilize that and how to use those resources and what should we pay for it. So I think we should start talking to 10 or 5, 7 photographers
Okay.
and shortlist them on your sheet. And you should, when you start talking with them, when you talk to 10 people, only the 3 or 4 you will align. 5 people you will align them, because the budget wise, everything, the design wise, the way of talking and the revert time, everything. That only then you shortlist 3 photographers on your board. On 3 photographers, then you decide the budget, that my budget is this, and still you I see a lot of time when the photographer is finalized, they struggle with the budget. At the right, the cost is not matching, or we can do it in that way, we can do it this way. So my idea is, you should not cut the cost for the photographer. You should definitely negotiate. That's your right. You can do it, but you should not cut to that level that photographer will not be able to provide a good quality. He will not get the energy from that. So you should always cut down your outputs. I think, let's say if I am giving you 30 images in a deliverables, you cut down to 15 images. Let's have a combination of a cost negotiation and come down the cost, so that photographer can give you best of 15 images. Don't go with the 50, 40, 30, 80 images. Just be focused on what you need and divide your images into 3 parts. I think, if you do this way, let's say if I'm delivering 15 images to you, you divide it. First pointer should be what social media needs, what social content. The second need is what your client need, what client is expecting from those when you go for a pitching and everything for your portfolio. And third is what you need. And the fourth point is what photographer has clicked during that time. You should definitely focus on that part. On this basis, if you divide your pictures, and in that way, your result will be very good. Your content will be divided into 4 different parts, and definitely you, photographer and designer, can collaborate at a common cost.
So basically, it's quality over quantity. Anytime,
Yeah,
like
anytime.
anytime.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so I was reading a blog wherein I was just going through that how we can prepare our home for this. So, for example, I read that declutter your room, manage your storage area, make proper divisions of storage before you actually start off with the professional photography. I mean, with the professional photo shoot. So, is there any other tip which you can maybe give it to me for my home, or maybe for other homeowners who are planning off to use professional photography?
I think when you plan for a shoot, you should have a clear picture in mind that this is a place I'm going to shoot.
Okay.
The designer have done multiple shoot. I'm talking on a designer aspect. Let's say you are a designer and you have done 5 sites in a year, and you are planning to shoot all 5, maybe all of 3, all of 5, or maybe a 2 or 3. You should be very precise on that. This particular site I need to capture, and you should be very clear about it, that this is my thought in mind. I want to convey this to a client, that this home should have a contemporary, this home should have eclectic, this home should have a Indian feel. So you should convey the same in a photography. So when your picture is clear, your the goal is clear to a photographer or a photography team, then comes the second step. When everything is sorted, then comes the mood boarding. You always start with the mood boarding on a Pinterest or any site. You Google it. You start doing the angles. What angle you prefer to do? What is your liking? Start collecting your liking. Don't do very blank on a shoot day that let's shoot with a wide angle thing. Let's shoot with a vertical thing. Let's not do it. Start preparing yourself on a very first day when you hire a photographer. Moment you start doing that, there's a lot of content, lot of energy exchange, lot of material you're exchanging with a photographer. Then photographer will also come back with you that I think that's this for the designer is very, she knows about what going in the market, and she has an idea, and he will take you very seriously. And those 50 or 30 images will definitely give you a good mark as a content wise. And as a designer, you will represent in a market that XYZ is a designer, and she has this kind of a liking, and she do this kind of a work. You should be very clear about what exactly you want to convey.
Exactly. Or maybe you can uh, so sorry, maybe you can decorate your living area. So for example, if I want to I'm so sorry.
No problem, take your time.
Yeah. So maybe I can put a wine glass. So
Please take it.
yeah, just a minute.
I think there's a few questions in between we take.
Yeah.
Trending diary says something. Is styling essential for a photo shoot? I think that's a very big question when talk about styling and just do it like this. I think if you can go to my profile, you will see a lot of images with the styling part. Are we connected, guys?
Yeah, Lakshay, I'm so sorry.
No
Yeah, you can
problem.
continue.
Yeah, we are answering to a trending diary. She's asking, styling is essential for photo shoot. Definitely, this is a very important part. That's a very good question she asked, because generally we talk about, have you have hired a photographer? What about the props? What about the styling? We cannot do it like this with a colored bed sheet and this kind of a quilt. And we need to have a stylist on board. We need a lot of props on a shoot day, because you are presenting something in a market, you're presenting some pictures in a market. You cannot have uncooked images. You have to bake that and make those images, and photographer job is to make it good. But ideally the step one is to, you should refer to your stylist, or you refer to your designer or whatever. You need to design that way, and styling is most important part in that way, that people style in a that way. Sometimes it does not complement each other. The headboard is going pastel green, and we are putting a pink color quilt. It doesn't go well. We need to work on that. We need to collaborate with the people. We need to do a mood boarding then, and choose your props wisely, and do the recce on before the shoot day. Talk to photographer, share the images, do a lot of research. And that definitely, the answer to this, styling is a very important part.
And I believe sometimes people overdo a lot. So, for example, when you said green, pink, so a lot of things people do that are not even required when you want to have a professional photo shoot. Maybe one styling tip which I read was that you can keep wine glasses on a table, or maybe you can keep a bowl of fruits on a table to add that aesthetics to the captured shots, right? Cool.
Definitely.
So, we'll move down to the next segment of this session, which is for professionals like architects and interior designers. Now, Lakshya, do you think that photo shooting a project is actually important for a professional like a designer and architect?
Okay, you asking what exact photo shoot is important or not?
Yeah, photo shooting any project for their portfolio, like if they want to show it to their potential clients. Do you think that it's important?
Definitely, that's very important. That's why we are here for in a market, and you are designing for a client, and we need to convey the same. Let's say if you are doing a project in Delhi or in a Vasant Kunj and doing a project, and you only the set of people know about the designing, how you will convey the message. The content has to go out. If you have a talent, why not to show to the people? Let's not hide that. You do it with your phone, you do it with your photographer, you do it with anyone. Document that, because you are recording history of your thing. People will get to know what exactly kind of work you do. It only will happen when you capture those and you will publish to the market and show it to the people. It's a very important thing. All the designers and architects, I request them, document that whatever you have done in your designing industry, you should capture that every time, because maybe it's not important right now. After 5 years, that project becomes very important for you.
So, now, since it's an era of social media, and even according to statistics, 51% of people actually purchase home online. So what are some photo styling tips, photo designing tips, for example, light, maybe natural light or artificial light, or any other tip that you can give that people can actually use to hook their audience to the pictures that are professionally taken with the help of a photographer?
Okay. So I think we encountered this question several times, and I keep on asking now to designers and architects, what exactly you want. Do you want an ambient light? Do you want a daylight? You want a mix of it. So some of them were very clear. We need a daylighting. We need this kind of picture. The other designer says, we need a mix of it. Can we have it both? The other says, I have no idea. Can you shoot and show it to me? So I think these questions are comes when you don't do a homework. You come with an expectation that the photographer will do a tremendous job on the shoot day, but when the photographer asks you something, we don't have answer, because we are not used to doing the research, because we have done the designing of the house, and we have just came for the photo shoot, and we are not prepared. That's why in the very start I said, do your research, do your mood boarding, do your lot of homework, do a recce, do all these things before the shoot, because you waste a lot of time. First of all, the owners is very owners get irritated on a shoot day, and you are paying a photographer a full day. The second part, and your time is wasted also. In three people are wasting time on that day just because we don't have an answer to this. To solve this issue, I think for number one, you should follow daylight, the light which is coming from the window or left or right. And let's say if the light is not coming in a clumsy place or a short place, we should always have a extra light and we mix with that. Number one, we have a daylight. If we don't have a daylight, let's use the few artificial lights and mix with that with a low shutter. And let's say if we have an ambient light, we have a daylight, and we have a artificial light. Let's mix all together with your technique, whatever you have learned in your industry. You mix with that. You just, let's say a light is coming from the right window, and the corner there is a chandelier, and a camera is on the left side. We mix all the three together and create a very amazing image. Either way you can do it, but the priority, my liking, if I say, the daylight would work very well.
Better, you say. Cool. So I think this answered the question of Inderjeet Randhawa, that is natural lighting sufficient or artificial lighting is also required for a professional shoot. Cool. We have another question, Lakshay, from Mr. Lalit Kumar. Is it always necessary to hire an expensive photographer? So I think, again, a lot of people are budget conscious. So do you think that hiring an expensive photographer is important or not? Like, what are your views on this?
I think this question comes every time. Expensive is good. Brands are good. When we buy, we think, when you buy a clothes, when you buy a jewelry, let's go with this brand. Let's go with that brand. We have, here comes the R&D. Let's say if you start, you're going for buying a chandelier, let's say for your living room, and you went just blank like that without Googling everything. Let's go with that brand, and you find it very expensive. Okay, that will be good. No, this is not not should this theory on that basis. When you are buying thing, when you're selecting thing, you should know why you need this, and when you need it, and where you need this. If this answers are very clear, you will able to finalize your product very easily. IKEA gives you a very soft lighting and a very simple, sleek, contemporary designs. And if we talk about the Jaipur design and the other design, they give you very Indian touch. We should have a clarity on that. Either we are going on IKEA side or we are going on other brand side, Indian side. When this clarity will happen, definitely the quality and the quantity will go down, and everything will be clear. So answer to this question is that expensive is not always good. Expensive is not always good. You should always analyze yourself, ask yourself what you need, and whatever you need, and the person is aligning to hire that person or buy that thing.
Definitely. Okay, so now let's move to the next segment. That's the last segment. So this segment is particularly for the beginners who want to master this field of architectural photography. So, Lakshay, are there any specific photography techniques that are particularly useful for capturing architecture, and maybe beginners can take a note of this?
Beginners, I would say that beginners, you would like to do an interior, exterior, definitely you should learn before that. Let's learning mean to say you should have a kind of a background check what exactly you're doing. There's a lot of YouTube content right now. There's a lot of paid content right now. You start with that. You should not go blank with the camera, just buy the camera and start doing the photography. That kills the market. First of all, you are killing the market, and you are paying for the professional photographer, those who are struggling already in the market, and those who are highly professional. So you need to learn first of all, then you get into the market, and at least have a basic camera. Just start with a crop sensor. It can be Canon, it can be Sony, it can be any brand you pick. You start shooting with that, whatever learning you have done, and start noting it down. This is what you have learned today, and this is what practice you have did today. Don't go it blank. You can go with, I think in this market today we have 100 of option right now. You set your budget accordingly, you buy the things. It's not necessary you should buy that particular brand and you will be a photographer. You fix your budget, invest on your learning. Don't and second thing is your products or whatever equipment you use. First, invest on your learning.
And equipments that you talked
Yeah.
about. So, so what are various equipments that are needed? So, what kind of camera, maybe what kind of what lighting? Is there anything like beginners need to have, or they can start off with a basic camera? So, what are certain
So
techniques
I
which can help them?
think if you're talking about the interior architect photography, the most important is a very sturdy tripod. You need it. I have seen many people shooting without the tripod. That's a very bad practice. You are giving it to the client. Client also knows that interior photography happens on architect photography only on a tripod. You cannot pile a kind of a box or and a kind of a stand. You do it on. You should never do this kind of practice. Always have a tripod, a sturdy, good tripod. That's a lifetime investment. You do it one time buy, in a 15-20 years you're good to go. And second, you could have a camera range around 50,000-60,000 rupees camera. It will give you with lens. It All brands have this kind of a thing. If you have a more budget, go with a good that thing. And third thing, you'd have a wide angle lens and a prime lens, so that two things will happen. The moment the client will ask you, I need a creative shot, I need a wide angle. This is a basic requirement of an interior designer. So you will have a wide angle lens in your bag, and a prime lens for the creative and detailing thing. That's the most important thing. And I think that's answer your question.
So I think professional photographers are making a note of this, that what equipments do they need and what are the techniques they can use in their future shoots. So, Lakshay, do you think, are there any platforms which photographers can use to market themselves? And since you are also a top MMH partner, how MMH has actually helped you out in marketing yourself as LK Arts Photography?
I think first we discussed with a lot of colleagues and our partners that why photographers don't have a community. We don't have a kind of a rights and everything. We don't have a kind of a rule set. We should work on a fixed cost. We should definitely do this kind of a work, and this photographer will do this, and this photographer will only do this. We don't have a kind of a unity in a market. We need to work on that unity and create a community. The community can only be is not gonna. I will stand, take a flag and start creating community. It's a very difficult job, and it's all the pan Indian around the world people are doing photography. So MMH is a very good platform for all the photographers and the designers. They can definitely register themselves and list, and at least they will get a platform, so they will have a runway to which direction to go. Otherwise, all the photographer and the other members are going in a haywire directions. If we have a right platform, we'll go in the right direction. Whatever it takes, I think we should register on that, and let's take a use of it.
So basically, all the professionals who are scattered here and there are aggregated on one single platform, and people can find these professionals who are nearby them. They can book their portfolio, reviews, and everything.
Yeah,
That, that
definitely.
that's actually great. So, how has MMH been helping you for getting clients?
I think segregation happened on a very first end. Let's say if I am looking for a photographer, my question is what kind of photography we are talking about. Are we talking about the interior photographer? Are we talking about the wedding photographer? Are we talking about the portrait photographer? There are hundred of category we are current market. So MMH says we are targeting architecture and an interior photographer. That's a very clear picture. Now we need to sort out which city we are working on. We are sitting in the Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, whatever city. So that thing is very short. So Mumbai, we have a 15 photographers. As I told you, talk to 10 photographers, discuss with them, align with them, shortlist the 5, and then assign your budget and then work on that. Half of the work is done by the MMH, I think. That's a very easy job. You guys have done it, and people should use it. Every designer, architect, and whatever vendors are listed on your portal, people should use it and make a use of it.
Definitely. In fact, it's easier for professionals also to connect with each other. So, for example, if I, being a professional, want to check out your work, I can do it on MMA. So that's actually great that these platforms are there to help everyone out. Okay, Akshay, I think I'm done with my questions. I think so that there are some more questions in the comment section. I don't believe there are. It's okay.
Makaran says, hi Lux, is my co-partner. We have worked together long back. We have answered to the Lalit Kumar. We see a lot of people around, Savinder, Manish. I can see, yeah.
Sure.
Hi guys, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope that this session will actually help you out. And stay tuned for our Instagram page. We'll be putting out a lot of content on this session, and also we'll be uploading the whole video on YouTube. So I hope to see you there on YouTube. And
Thank you
thank you, Lakshmi,
guys.
for us. It was a really fruitful session. Even I learned a lot of things about architectural
Great.
photography.
It's my pleasure. I think in the last I say your content is currency right now. Create content. Either
Definitely.
way it is. Create content is your currency. It's a history you are making, you guys. Designers, all you guys, you should capture your every sides. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshay. Bye.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.